What is up, rogues? Alright, so today I'm going to give y'all a pretty broad explanation of what Maelstrom Arena is and how to beat it on normal. I can't guarantee you'll be a pro at this after this video, but you will have a good understanding of each of the rooms and kind of what order things appear in, and just a simple way to knock everything out. When you first start doing Maelstrom, it can be kind of overwhelming. It used to take me like 2 hours. Now you'll see I can knock it out in like 30 minutes. First thing you're going to want to do is when you get in the room, don't run ahead because it's not going to start until you take a few steps forward. First step is always reload your buffs, so eat your food, drink your pot, pop an XP pot if you want because you will gain a few CP levels while you're in here, especially if you're enlightened like I was. I think I gained like a total of 4 or 5 through the whole run. So the first room is real simple. As you see, you got a couple little guys popping up. Watch out for the clan fears because when you're not paying attention, they will try to pounce on you and that knocks you down, and then you got to waste time struggling to get back up. But this is definitely the easiest room. Go through, knock the guys out. Even the boss room isn't that hard. You pretty much just keep appearing in a triangle pattern around the room. You've got a Daedroth on round 1. You've got a Flesh Atronarch on wave 2, and then you've got a big old Skelly Boy on wave 3, and then you have the final boss. I'm running this on my main, my first tune I ever created, which was a Stamina Nightblade, or Stamblade for short. That's another thing is when you first start running this, Sorks are preferred, like they seem to clear it without a single problem. Stamina tunes in general can be a little bit more difficult, and the Stamina Nightblade, given the fact that everything's up close with them, you have to run around everywhere. It can be the most difficult. It used to pull my hair out trying to run this place. Here's the second boss. They get on pretty easy. I'd recommend, like, there's no set amount of DPS you should be putting out for this, but I would say it gets noticeably easier on normal when you have at least like 25-30 K DPS. My character, when I'm actually putting in effort, is like 65-70-ish. Without trying, I put out about 52K, so you'll notice how smooth most of this runs. There's not really much to explain, like I said, this first room. You just kind of beat everything up as it pops up. There's no real mechanic. You do have that kind of ball of doom behind me, but it really isn't going to hurt you much. Alright, so final round. Like I said, I'm a Stamina Nightblade. I run a dual-wield and bow set. I have not updated my loadout yet with update 32 just dropping today, Deadlands update. I gotta do a little farming, get a new monster helm, switch some things around. You do it. I hadn't even switched my CP at the point where I did this. I ran in and decided I was gonna do a Maelstrom because one of the weekly endeavors was doing Arena, so I said, okay, I can knock that out in like 30 minutes. So this is the second room. Now you'll notice there's the green switches right there. You have the fan blade spinning. If you pull that switch, the fan blades will stop for a quick moment. I think it's like 30 seconds at most. And the shocky stuff going on in the middle to my right there, in the middle of the room, actually becomes a healing aura. Once you're high enough CP, you're not really stressing that. Like, you realize it's probably more beneficial on normal anyway. I won't say on vet, but on normal, it's definitely more beneficial to keep these running because once you damage one of the enemies, the fan blades also damage the enemy. So, and the fan blades, don't really do much damage to begin with. So you're just gonna run through and you're gonna kill all the little guys one by one. At the end of each wave, there's gonna be a Dwarven Centurion that pops up. Take them down. The only really annoying part about this whole level is, and you'll see the final boss of this level is actually 3 bigger Centurions, and you'll notice on the first one when it gets to it that you have a certain amount of time to burn it down before it's going to go into like a lockout phase and it's going to have an overshield, and you're going to have to run to the next one, and if you don't burn them down fast enough, you'll be running back and forth non-stop. If you wind up in that predicament, like your DPS isn't high enough to burn them down, one of the tricks I used to do was you can stand by one of them and kind of pluck at the other one with whatever distance attack you have, or they'll eventually run to you, so you can get all 3 piled up and attack it like that. Just kind of running around right now, waiting for everything to spawn. That's another problem when you're running normal. I don't do a lot of vet. I don't really see a big bonus or difference when it comes to vet, and I don't care about leaderboards when it comes to the weapon sets. So when you're on normal and you're burning through everything quick, you do wind up waiting in between waves for things to spawn. And for those that don't know, the main thing about Maelstrom is the weapons that drop, just like any of the other arenas. You're going in for the specific weapons. Like you see, that guy just went into lockdown mode, so now I gotta try to burn the other two really fast. I do finish this one. One of the endeavors for today was to pop my ult 3 times, so I just kind of go willy-nilly with it. But like I was saying, the key thing about Maelstrom, if you don't already know, is the weapon sets. They're very unique. And the 2 most sought after would definitely be the bow, which I'm currently using on this character, and the destructo staffs, preferably the fire for DPS, but honestly, I use the ice on my tank, and I use the shock on my healer. Alright, so this room is, once again, there isn't a whole lot of mechanics. The Lamia Queen up there, right ahead on the cliff, will make the ground shocky, which really just slows you down. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Each one of these little dirt mound islands will have enemies that spawn, and every so often a strangler plant will pop up, which you can pretty much just one-hit. Even in my lower levels, I was able to pretty much just one-hit it. This one, unlike the other 2 have, like, this is the first, the Queen's Pet is the first round boss. Just a big Wamasu. Pretty simple. The next one, I believe, is the Queen's Champion, and that's just a big melee fighter. The third one is the Queen's Consort, I think is the proper name, and it's just a Hag Raven. It's a Magicka character. Yeah, you're just gonna go through, beat up everything on the islands. Maelstrom, once you learn the timing of everything, where everything pops up, you know, what to pay attention to. Like I said, it used to take me about 2 hours to clear this place, and then the Witches Festival came around, and you get a plunder skull for each one of the rooms you clear, so I kind of, you know, got over myself, was like, alright, I'm gonna do this. And after like 3-4 runs, I finally realized where everything pops up, and it, you know, I just got better and better, and now I can clear, I think my best time is like 22 minutes. I did take it a little slower than I normally would through here, because I was like, you know, I'm going to take this opportunity to record it, throw it on the YouTube for anybody. And of course, I'm not going to say that my video is like the best video to watch on Maelstrom. This is just kind of a quick me running through it, and I'm going to tell you, you know, this pops up over here, that pops over here, watch for this. I'm sure there's plenty of other videos that, you know, give you full out, you should wear this gear and eat this food. I really don't think on normal Maelstrom that any of that is overly necessary. I mean, it's normal, man. Just eat your normal food that you run with, make sure you're under DPS character. Make sure you got your pots handy. Alright, so this is a trick I like to do. After you defeat her, she's gonna, after you defeat that last one, it's straight up to the final round. On this tune, I like to go ahead and pop my Shade, which is a little bonus fighter for me, draw my arrow, hit her with a soul trap, you know, get all that running, and get all my buffs and stuff going. That way, by the time she hits the island, I can just melt her down like you've seen. If you might have noticed she does like a scream, it's like a cone attack she does. You kind of want to roll out of that or it will stun you. It doesn't do damage, but it's annoying when you know you can't hit back. You do, as you're going through, want to pay attention. He's a merchant. He will allow you to repair your gear. Okay, so this is Set's Flywheel. It's the 4th room, and this is kind of like the 2nd room, but there's not spinny blades. You're gonna have, you know, a couple melee. It's clockwork centered, like Clockwork City based. So you're gonna have a few of these melee fighters, a few Magicka fighters, and a few dwarven, you know, automatons running at you. The only thing you really need to pay attention to in this one is there are little dwarven spheres, not like the big attack ones, but little ones that are gonna roll into the centers right here, and yeah, I see my shade just killed one. They're gonna roll into the center into one of the hubs. When they get into the hub, they're gonna gain an overshield. They're not hard to kill, but they do send like bolts of lightning at you that do a little bit of damage, but mainly they stun you, which when you're trying to knock out a bunch of enemies, especially on a tune, you already have to run around to every corner manually. You kind of want to get them out of the way as fast as possible. There you go, little clockwork sentries. The first boss in this room is a Magica fighter. I think we've already cleared him. Like, I'm moving pretty fast. The second one is also another Magica. The third one you'll see spawns with 2 healers, one on each side of it. And when it gets, see, there's the second one. Yeah, another Magica fighter. Nikajiti. See, I'll summon little buddies. So yeah, see, he was about to go in electro mode. Y'all might notice my guild chat popping up in the corner. It's one of the trading guilds. Shout out to Reload. Y'all are awesome. Y'all definitely keep good conversation going. When I am on and being more sociable, it's definitely a good fun guild. Low dues. They keep you updated on when all the auctions are popping. You know, free shout out to them. Little free advertisement. I do play on PlayStation North America server. Alright, so this is the second to final. This is the final before the final. Like I said, he's got 2 healers, one that will damage, and then he's a melee guy. So if you just run straight in the middle of them and focus on the melee guy with your burst and all that, the other 2 kind of fall at the same time. Now, the main boss to this, as you're about to see, is a giant dwarven spider, kind of like the siege engine from Fungal Grotto 2. And he comes down when you got the compass still up, if you look to the east, he's going to come down the east wall. So, you know, just kind of hard target him, pop all your buffs, bring out whatever pets or buddies you have, and just, as you see, just melt him down. I will let you know, I killed him fast enough that it doesn't happen, but if he makes a full circle around the arena right after that, just like in Fungal Grotto 2, he's going to start busting out flame drops, and those do stack damage. Alright, so this next room is the Rink of Frozen Blood. This is the first headache you'll hear people talk about, especially in Vet. So you have a bunch of enemies that pop up on the platforms, and yeah, you want to beat them as fast as possible. But the actual main thing you want to focus on, you'll notice it in just a second, is the troll that spawns in the middle of it all. Right there in the center to the left of the screen, where it just was anyway. It spawns in random. I don't think there's an exact amount of time. I think it's at random. But he needs to be main priority through this entire room. Everything else will follow you to attack. He does not. If you do not take him or her, whatever the troll may be, out first, when he gets to the platform, he's going to start smashing it, okay? And I'm not sure if you're noticing my health go down as I run across the water, but you take not just damage, but ice damage as you run across, so it also slows you and drains your stamina. If you do not take care of him, he's going to break the platform. Without the platform, you have one less platform to stand on, which becomes a pain in the ass when it comes to the boss fight for each wave. Once your DPS is high enough up like mine, you really don't worry about it because you can pretty much just melt everything fast enough. But it does become a pain in the ass for the very final fight of this room, because the matron giant also breaks the platform. So eventually you're going to be out of platforms. On normal, you might be able to burn it fast enough, but the damage does stack and you will freeze. See how, you see, I'm steady focusing on the center of the arena just to watch his time. Everything else will come to you, or you can kill it from a distance. That is the one thing you don't want to risk, is Trolley getting away. That used to happen to me a lot when I first started, when I was struggling with the arena. Because I am on a stam tune, so I can't just send a pet after it or anything like that. I have to go up and beat it up myself. As you see, it only takes like 1-2 hits to kill the troll. It's not much, but it's, you know, something you still want to keep under control. I'm gonna keep it manageable. And as you see, most of the sub waves, like the little waves, are just It's little adds. You get a Frost Atronach, and they can be kind of annoying, but you can still pretty much beat them without trying. The giants that come in here next are a little tricky, because they pack more of a punch, they can stun you, but they're pretty much just, you know, stronger Ice Atronachs, to be honest. Once again, always running and focusing on that troll. As you see, I'm fighting in the water. I'm not taking too much damage, but then again, I try to get out of it as fast as possible. You might notice I don't really use any of the buffs that the arena provides. I forget what they're called. But the little floaty symbols, as you see them, I don't really use those. On normal, once you, I mean, on normal, it doesn't matter if you do or don't. You're not going to lose score. It's not a scored run like the leaderboards are for Vet. But you really don't need them after you've done this enough. You just know. In the second to last room, you'll see I do use the haste one just because of the final boss fight there. But we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so you might notice that even though I was over there, I ran back to this one. On this last one, like I said, the matron is going to break each thing at a certain point. When roughly about 66-65%, she's going to jump and smash that, and it's gone for good. Yeah, I got lucky here, and the troll ran straight for me. I didn't have to switch platform. The order I do this on purpose. I start with the one you start on, come to this one, and then go to the next one as I do this for convenience, because as you see, once I kill her, this is the platform that the exit portal as well as the chest and so forth spawns on. So, I mean, you don't have to do this, it's just more of a convenience thing. The thing I do like about, like I said, this is post update 32. They have made it to where when you get specific set pieces from dungeons and so forth, it's going to opt to give you a piece you don't already have out of that set. I believe at this time there was only one piece I was missing. Okay, so this is the spiral skin, whatever you want to call it. You've seen how I ran, killed all the Horvers of the giant ticks, and in doing so, it lit it up. That's because each one of those little spires in the middle are wrapped up in webs, and if you kill the Horver next to it, or kill it, and as you're about to see, synergize, do the 2-button press to break those webs, they light up. Once all the webs are removed, all the current webs are removed, it will light it up, and as you've seen, cause a big old stun around everything. This room gets kind of tricky for a few reasons. On top of trying to knock down as many of those webs to create that stun effect that you've seen happening, you also at a distance need to be careful where you aim. There's times I thought I was about to make a direct hit on the thing and overshot it when I threw the poison venom clump. Also, as you're going through, it does spawn like a big spider. It's not a giant spider, but it's a pretty big spider. That's whole purpose is just to go and re-web up a spire you've already cleared, so you want to watch out for that. You know, it is pretty much just a bunch of little mobs. You get a Fletch Actro here. In a second, you'll get the Lurcher, which is just like a really badass friggin' tank. Like I said, watch for them. Try to clear it as you can. Watch your aim. That's just a quick synergy. The only thing more annoying than the spider that gets spawned to re-wrap up a spire you've already cleared is the swarm of spiders, which should be coming up here soon. Now the trick to those is, if you already have a spire glowing like that one is, when they're trying to chase you, just run over to that. It'll scatter them for a second. I think it's like 3 to 5 seconds, and then the spire will go dim and you need to move. But usually by then, you've cleared it. Maybe not if this is, you know, your first couple times, you're still getting used to it. But that's what you're doing. You're just trying to clear these spires to get the stun effect. See, here's a swarm. Just keep them moving, because they will, even me at the level I'm at, they devour me if I don't stay moving or find a way to stop them. Another good thing is, like, I have a burst ultimate. I use that too, and it just drains their life. But that's more like character specific. That's not going to help everybody. See, I killed a Horver, but I didn't take the time to go through the thing. Luckily enough, another one spawned. I accidentally hit that buff trying to get the poison grenade, but as you see, lighting everything up stuns everything. Use that to your advantage while you can. Usually I try to spread out the stun buff, the light up stun buff thing that you've seen. That way I have one for the final boss of this room. Unfortunately, when I popped it, it was like seconds before the final boss comes in. So I didn't have it for the final boss, but I still managed. See, there's the guy who was trying to web my thing up again. Now, I think I still had one or two spires still webbed up, so I just went ahead and just fought this one. You're going to watch for that right there. Gives a stun and some damage. Then you see him charging up. You can just interrupt that. You do want to try to burn her down as fast as possible because she starts summoning all kinds of help. Like you seen, there was a lurcher popping up. The swarm of spiders comes in, just all kinds of things. And check your armor at this point because the very next room is the one that no matter who you are, you've bitched and complained, probably screamed and almost rage quit about this room at least once. This is the Vault of Umbrage. There is a couple mechanics to pay attention to in here, and this is where this is probably the room you really need a walkthrough for. See that? Yeah, I made sure to look at it. There are like 5 or 6 of those spread around this room, okay? You want to pay attention to those, not in this first wave, but any wave after the first wave. There's something called a Venom Caller, okay? And it's going to spawn at random. You want to pay attention to the pads, make sure you're watching them, because when those Venom Callers come in, you might notice these little glowy plants, like right there, in this room. If you get too close to those at any time, they're going to start to swell and bust, okay? And when they bust, they do a big old round AoE, and you get affected by what's called the volatile poison, or venom. It's one of the two. But either way, what it means is you are affected by that, and it's going to steady stack damage. It's going to multiply its damage every second that it's on you. And the only way to get it off you is actually to go roll or stand in one of those glowy green pools. You have 2. Those do respawn, I believe, every round. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been hit by them. But if you don't, if you use all those up, they don't respond to the next round. And see, there we go. It spawned. Knock it down. It only takes a hit, but you want to pay attention because she does steady, just back to back. Call flowers, make a pop. Call flowers, make a pop. And it's really easy to get hit by the flowers at that point. So, you just, and watch for the arrow shooters too, because they can hit you with the same thing that the flowers do. It eventually goes away if you can heal yourself through it. Or you can do like, I think I did it this round. I ran into one of the pools. So you can see what it looks like when you got to heal through it. So at the end of each round, there's one round that sends a Wamasu after you. All the other rounds are going to spawn those trolls. See, she called and made all those flowers bust. So the first round you have 1 troll. The second round you have 1 troll and a bunch of these Nyx hounds, sorry. The third round is a Wamasu. The fourth round is two of the trolls, okay? And the thing about the trolls is you fight them in roughly about between 30 and 40% life once you get them down that far. Oop, yep, there you go. Once you get them down that far, they do this thing where they like grow for a second and they're invincible. And they don't really, I haven't noticed them buff themselves any. It's annoying that you have to wait that second to finish them off. So you might have seen I was taking damage. I had the cloud around me. Normally it would say you're affected by the volatile poison, but I think when you get hit with the arrows, it doesn't count because you can just like kind of heal through it for a time being. I, on the other hand, chose the pool. And you see the pool hasn't spawned yet, so that's a good sign that I think you only get 2 per room, if that's the case. So, just keep your head on a swivel in this room. Watch where you step, because if you get too close to the flower, whether the venom color is up or not, it will cause it to spread out, and the AoE will pop. It pops as soon as the AoE is fully spread, and it does like expand really quick. Alright, so here we go. We are on the second to last wave. I noticed that. Another thing is, like, if you notice a screen going green, like there's a green filter, it looks like, that usually means a venom color is up, so you want to locate it as fast as possible. Alright, so once those 2 trolls are down, you want to aim back over here to this corner. Those plants won't always be there. Look for the cup. You want to go ahead and start laying your AoEs, your buffs, and all that because the Argonian Behemoth is up. And this guy is a headache. He has 2 ads he spawns. Both of them are archers. My mistake in the beginning was see, there we go, I got hit with the poison. My mistake in the beginning when I first fought them is I thought kill them first, but when you do that, he goes rage mode and his scream can actually kill you. So I've learned that the easiest, quickest way to clear this final boss, the final boss, the Argonian Behemoth, is just melt him down as fast as possible, ignore the archers. Now, you've seen that I got affected by the volatile poison, and it just went away at the end of the round. It doesn't always do that. There have been times where it's glitched, the poison continues, and it just kills me. My guy here just flops over. I'm showing you that I was doing this for that, but it turns out even though I was doing the endeavor for the week, I wound up actually clearing a different weekly endeavor first. So it was like, man, I did all this for nothing. But at least y'all get a cool little video out of it. Alright, so we're in the second to last room. This one's pretty straightforward. You're going to have some of the flame beetles, shulks as they're called. You're going to have some Daedra popping up, or Dremora, whatever you prefer to call them. You're going to have them popping up, shooting you with Inferno staffs and healing staffs. Unfortunately, they don't heal you. There's some Atros popping up, and there are some melee Daedra as well. They pretty much just pop up, take them down. At the end of each round, you're going to have a lurcher that pops up. The key thing is you might notice these like glowing stones, the 3 glowing stones in the different corners of the room. For each one of the final round bosses, the one is going to heal itself. There you go, there's that one. You've got to break that stone before the boss can take any damage. Now, you want to kill the boss as fast as possible once you take that stone down because after so long, either that stone or another stone will heal up and you have to break that stone before you can damage them again.
Pay attention, you louts. You might learn something.
Second round, they send a bunch of shulks at you first. I think they spawn 1 or 2 Atros, and then it's just a bunch of the mage Daedras. Dremoras, sorry, the humanoid. This one I noticed like afterward that it had glitched because I kept attacking the stone. Usually the stone would break like before, but this time it just lost its glow. A smart thing to do is try to take out the lesser enemies before fighting the boss, otherwise they're just going to be getting free hits on you while you're focusing on the boss. So see, I came back over here to drop my AoE trying to take out the stone. It glitched. I didn't realize it was down until a second. And I was like, oh snap, okay, finish the boss off. So round 3, you know, starting the same corner I've been doing it, take those out. The thing is, once you clear the first little bit, mini wave of enemies, 3, go over there. Jump straight to the caster and focus on him because the melee guys are going to stick to you. So if you drop AoEs and burst, they'll wind up getting mostly taken out by the time the caster is down and you can finish them off. So being a stand blade in this, like I said, this arena is a bit of a headache as a stand blade, because one of the major buffs you get from being a stand blade is like backstabber and a few other things, being behind the enemy. And when it's a solo arena and you're the only thing the enemy can target, it's hard to be behind the enemy without it turning around. So your damage is kind of lessened in this, like compared to what you can max put out as normally as a stand blade. But eventually you just, you know, you learn everything and you get through it. So she pops up and she's kind of annoying because she tries to chain you in. She's like a Dragonite Dremora. You pretty much just, you know, same thing. Take her to the stone you need to kill her at and just work her as fast as possible. The ads don't die when you kill her though, so after you finish her off, if you haven't already killed them, go ahead and take them out of the way. So like I said, this is the room where I'll use the buff, and it's just a haste buff. It increases my movement speed, because unlike the other ones where you only had one stone to break, you have to break all 3 stones in this room. So I usually do those 2, and then I run to the far side. I start laying my AoEs, I summon my little buddy, I cast Soul Trap if needed. You know, I just get all my buffs going. Break the stone once she gets near it, and then just lay into her. You do get a second to get behind her if you're a Stand Blade, it's beneficial. Melt her down fast. Run back to the other side of this room. Grab your loot out the chest and get ready for the final room, the final room of this arena, the Theatre of Despair. So this room actually has 6 total waves, five waves, and then the final fight. Out of this chest, you'll get your whatever Maelstrom weapon drops for you. Like I said, the benefit to update, one of the benefits to update 32 is it will now definitely give you a piece you don't have. I was only missing one of the weapon sets, and that was the sword from the sword board set, and I got that today. So now I have all the I can recreate all the Maelstrom Arena weapons, and for cheap, only 25 stones. So as you're going through, you're gonna want to watch for the blue ghost. This is the key part of this room. Watch for the blue ghost and the gold ghost. If you get touched by a blue ghost, it's gonna slow you down. Like you lose like 50% of your movement speed. You're held back. The gold ghost don't give you anything for 1, but if you wind up grabbing 3 before they absorb into an enemy, you get a burst attack that kind of just stuns everything in the arena. Like you're about to see. I waited, boom, and pop it when they're about to spawn. They're all stunned. This gives me, you, whoever it happens to be, free range to go and beat the living shit out of anything in your way. So you always want to try to grab the gold ghost before, because it's going to go to target into an enemy. And you want to try to get in between it or run over and grab it ahead of time if you have enough stamina. Most of these waves are just like little Dramoras, and an Ogrim or a Daedroth. On round 3, you're going to go through the same process you just did over and over again, except the final person you fight in this wave does summon right there in the middle. He's just more of a... He's not hard. He's just, you know, a stronger Dramora. If I remember correctly, he's a melee guy. You just beat him up in the middle. Yep, see, there he is. Yeah, he's a 2-hander. Grab the gold ghost and just beat him up. There you go. Finish him, and then take off the little guys and the Agra. A little bit, I actually had to heal. I was more focused on grabbing that gold ghost and taking things down. So, as you see the Spectral Explosion, it's a synergy, and it stuns things. The key thing to remember is you can't just hold that synergy forever. It eventually will just disappear. So you want to try to make sure you time when you grab the things well enough that you can get the maximum amount of stun. Alright, so this is wave 4, and on wave 4, not only do you have the regular NPCs you've already been fighting and killing, but you also have these little Narconin Zans, or however you pronounce them. They're little summoners, alright? And you want to kill them relatively quick. They move slow. You see, they're not running to the center, but when they get to the center, they're going to start summoning something. I honestly don't know what it is. They take a minute to summon it, and it gives you a prompt on the bottom of the screen letting you know they're summoning something. So I've always been able to kill them before they summon whatever it is that they are actually supposed to summon. But, you know, just food for thought. Don't let them sit there for too long. I'm sure whatever they summon isn't going to be too bad, but it's still an extra thing to kill and take extra time and just be annoying. But you got to remember, you get your food buff and your XP buff if you did like I did, and you want to get the most out of those. You don't want those to run out before you finish. Alright, so wave 5. This one's slightly different than the past. You're going to have a wave of, you know, regular enemies, a Daedroth, you're going to want to pay attention because now homie's going to show up, big old Titan. Go ahead, get your buffs in, your AoEs and everything set up, block that first hit he goes for, and then just melt him as fast as possible because within like, as you see, like 15 seconds, he starts summoning health. Take him down, focus on the other guys, grab the ghost if you can. And just finish out the wave. And then next is the grand finale. Oh, nope, he got it before we could. Stole my ghost. That's how you know if one of the guys has grabbed a gold ghost before you, because they get that glow, that blue aura over them. Alright, so this is grand finale. This guy's gonna show up in the middle, you know, pop everything, so forth, so on, and beat him up as fast as possible. You're only gonna be able to get him down to between 60 and 70% health before he like stops you and you can't kill him anymore. Find one of the glowy pads. There's gonna be a spectral clanfer that pops up. Kill it next to the portal, use the portal to go up. Now, this is where you're going to want to drop your AoEs and your soul traps and whatever to break these crystals. Make sure you're dodge rolling as you go, because he is going to try to knock you off this upper platform. In a second, you see right there, they spawn that. You're going to want to use those shields to your advantage, because he does send a unbreakable fucking missile at you that will knock you down like that. But this happens no matter what once you've broken off the crystals. Find where he lands, pop everything, and at this point it's just a race to beat him as fast as possible. And once you've beaten him, everything else despawns, and voila, your chest with your grand Maelstrom weapon will be right there. Like I said, the two main sought-after things are Destro's staff and the bow, but it's also nice to collect all the other pieces. The sword and board set actually isn't a bad set for starter tanks. It's definitely not a BIS piece or best in slot, or meta is another good term. It's not that, but it's not a bad to have. You can see, like, that's another thing they added with update 32. It doesn't just show you the things. You actually have a progression bar now to know how much of that set you've actually collected, like how close you are to having all the pieces. When I said I had all the pieces of Maelstrom, I meant like the actual key weapon set, not the random armor pieces you get from the smaller chests. I'm just trying to clear this. There we go. Okay. And you just take your happy little butt through the portal again. I'm on PS5, so it does I mean, y'all should know that by now, but it loads pretty fast. Y'all might notice some super fast load screens. You're gonna talk to Fernuti, or whatever her name is. Their name is. It's a Daedra. I don't think it has a sex. And you know, get your XP for the day. Unfortunately, that way shrine does not work like that. So you'll have to hard travel out using the map. This place is in Rothgar, if you don't already know that. It's towards the northeast of the map, just northeast of Pariah Pinnacle House. But once again, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope this is helpful and gives you a decent, broad idea of the Maelstrom Arena and how to, you know, watch out for things, what to look for, so forth. On normal, I hope it helped. Definitely more videos coming. Thank y'all for tuning in. Catch y'all later.